So with WordPress installed and SqueezePageGenie both installed and activated, it's time to go ahead and create our first squeeze page. Now, one of the things that's really cool feature about SqueezePageGenie is if when you're in your admin dashboard for WordPress, if you click on the SqueezePageGenie menu item, you'll notice that you can create your essential pages. So your privacy policy, your terms of service, your earnings disclaimer, and your contact us basically in one click. What you're going to do is put your company name in here. And if you're not using a company name, you can put your own name in there. And then if you want your contact information, like an email address or a support link, you're going to put that in there. And then you just check the boxes next to the pages that you want to create. So if you already have these created on your site, like if you're adding SqueezePageGenie to an existing website or something like that, you could just skip this step. But if you don't have these pages, these are important for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're pages that most websites are required to have, but also from the standpoint of search engine rankings, typically Google and the search engines like to see pages with the websites with the proper terms pages on them. So it's kind of like a double benefit. And the great thing is you don't have to create these from scratch. Now, obviously, you can feel free to edit them any way you want. We don't make any claims as to their viability or protection, or it's all just a courtesy to have these up there for you. So it's your responsibility to go through and check them and make sure that you like what they say. But they're fairly standard pages that we created and put in here. So then all you got to do is click submit. And you'll see successfully created, successfully created. So now if I go up to pages and I look at all pages, you can see all those pages are there. All right, and now if I want to go and I want to preview one of them, I can just open this in a new tab. You can see that it created the full earnings disclaimer page, and it automatically input the company name that I chose, ABC Company. So it will dynamically do that for all of those pages, and it will input your company or your name as well as your support contact as well. And it'll put links for the pages at the bottom. So that's just an awesome shortcut for you to be able to create those pages. Now again, with SqueezePageGenie, the great thing about it is you can create an unlimited number of posts and pages that are completely unaffected by the styling of the SqueezePageGenie plugin, because you can use whatever theme you want. SqueezePageGenie uses a completely different and independent template, which I'm going to show you right now. So now let's say that we want to create a squeeze page. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new page, and we're just going to give it a title like we would for any other page. We'll just call it squeeze page. Then what we're going to do is over in default template, we're going to actually change this to the SqueezePageGenie template. Okay, and then we're going to publish it. Now that is going to make use of our software and our styling. So now when we style this page, we're going to be able to use these settings down here, which we're about to go through, to actually design and configure our squeeze page. Now, if we were to look at this page right now, it would be ugly because there's really no styling, there's no content. All we really did was create the page, and we selected the SqueezePageGenie template as the page template. That will set it up as a squeeze page, but it's still basically going to be blank. Okay, so now what we want to do is go down here and configure it. Now, these settings will appear for your other pages as well, but if you don't select the SqueezePageGenie template, they will not have any effect on your page. Okay, so that's how you could have an unlimited number of pages. They can all be based on your normal parent theme of your site, yet you can create as many squeeze pages as you want and make each of those look all independently different as well. Super powerful stuff. So you could experiment with the different layouts. There's a full screen layout, a combo, a one column, and a sidebar. I like the sidebar the best because it does a main content area and a right-hand sidebar where it's going to put the opt-in form. So you just tick the box under the one that you want to use. Now, if you want to upload a background image, You can upload an image here, and you can experiment with this. You can try something, and if it doesn't come out the way you want, then that's fine. You could set the background to full screen, horizontal, or tiled. So if you have a small image and you want it repeated a bunch of times, you can make it tiled. Again, experiment with that. Otherwise, you can choose you can actually create gorgeous gradient colors for the background where it looks like it blends from one color to the next just by selecting different colors. All right, so you've got the background color here, and we're going to go with something pretty light. And then you have the content background, which is where your actual content's going to go. So typically that's going to be white. You want to drag it all the way to white, but you may want a black squeeze page, in which case you're going to use white text. That's totally up to you. You can actually set the width of your page. Now this is an awesome feature because most squeeze pages, or most, like, wizards or whatever, that allow you to create automated things, they have a fixed width. And it's really annoying because what if you have a different size header? Or what if you had more content you need to fit on the page? You can literally make this any size you want. Just type in the number of pixels that you want. 1040 is a good size. Then you can add a border to it. You can make that border rounded on the corners, and you can actually add a drop shadow beneath the border as well. So I'm going to check all three of those. You can choose bullet points. And if you're going to put a list anywhere in the content up here for your squeeze page, this is what bullet it will use. So if you want, arrows, you can use that. If you want check marks, you can use that. The warning text, this is only used on one of the layouts. So for the most part, this is just going to be ignored. Banner and logo settings, okay? So say you want to enable a header graphic. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. If you have a graphic that you want to upload, which I do, you're just going to check the box that says enable header, and then you're just going to click on upload image. Then you click on select files, and you're just going to find the header that you want to upload. You're going to click open, and it's going to render it. Now, this is very important. If you're using a header image, you have to click insert into post. Don't do save changes or change any of this stuff. Just do insert into post, and you're all set. Okay, now that header will appear on the page. Now, the other option that you have here is if you upload just a regular graphic where it doesn't have any text on it, you can actually add text here and it will create it over it. Or instead of creating a graphic header at all, you can type in text here and it will create a header out of the text that you put there. So you're not required to use a header graphic in order to create a header for your page. The logo style, if you do type text in here, you could choose from a bunch of different fonts that we've included. You can choose the size of the font that you want. You could choose whether you want normal or bold. You could choose whether you want normal or italic. You could choose to drop shadow of up to 5 pixels or no shadow. And you can choose the color as well. All right, so you got a lot of different options here that you can choose from. If you want to change the text color, you can make it anything that you want. Social network settings. Okay, you can actually check the box here and you can choose to put them at the top or in the sidebar. And what it will do is it'll put the little Facebook, the little Twitter, and the Google Plus icons there, which are fantastic for viral traffic. When people hit your page and they like it, they're much more likely to click those and send other people to it. Then for the headline, what you're going to do is enter whatever you want in here for your headline. And then you can, again, choose the font that you want, the size, whether you want italics, header. I don't need to go through all the settings every time, but the color of it. And then for the subheadline, you could do the same thing. And you can change all the settings for that. Now, obviously, some of these settings you're going to have to play with. The first time you might get the font too small or whatever the case may be, but I'll show you an example of that in a second. And then paragraph settings, this is the body content of your actual page. So anything you paste in here is what this applies to. Paragraph settings. Okay, and then for opt-in form, it comes with a pretty nice styled form, and I'll show you that in a minute. But let's say for whatever reason you wanted to completely override that. You had a beautiful graphical form in your created already, and you did not want any of the graphics that are included. You can check this box, and it will allow you to override all of the stuff that goes beneath this, all the styling for the actual opt-in form. But for the purposes of this, we're going to stick with the normal process. Now, what you want to paste in here, this is your autoresponder code. And what this is any autoresponder service you use, you just need to get the raw HTML. Okay, you see that there are a lot of lines of code in here. If most of the autoresponders are going to give you JavaScript, they give you one line of code and they tell you this is your autoresponder. That will not work in here. Okay, you need to check the box, and they all offer the option of getting the full HTML or raw HTML. That's what you want, and there's a lot of lines of code. And just take all of it and paste it right in here. That's all you need to do. Then if you want a call to action, this is going to appear right above your sign up form. You can put that in there. If you want a privacy statement, this is going to appear directly below it. You can put that in there. Then you can choose on the form what color button you want, and you can choose the text. You can have download now, subscribe now, sign up now, get instant access, get free access, VIP access. And then if you want the opt-in form to be colored and you want these little squiggly lines where it says get free access, you can choose that, or you can choose none. And lastly, if you're going to be tracking using some sort of analytics, you can enter your tracking codes in here and it will actually track your results. All right, so we've got everything pretty much done. The one thing I want to add to this is I want to add my body text. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in a code here. Now what I did is I created a simple little table with 2 columns, and you'll see this in a second. And then I created a list. If you want those bullets to appear like this, all you need to do is use list in brackets like that, and then you do UL with the little brackets, and then you just do LI to start a new line, and /LI to end a new line. And you do as many of those as you want. When you're done, you do the brackets with the /UL and then brackets with the /list. And if you do that, it'll create a nice style list for you. And then we're just going to update the page and take a look at it. Now, it may not be perfect, but we want to see what it looks like so far. Okay, not bad. What we've got here is we've got our header, and you can see that it rounded the corners even though it was a square header. You can see a slight drop shadow around the outside. Okay, all 4 corners are rounded. Really nice. You can see the Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus icons. Now, this black bar will not normally be here. The only reason that's there is I'm logged in as admin. Okay, I can hide this if I log out, and you'll see that there's a nice space between that and the top of the page. So this is excellent for viral traffic. Now, looking at this, there's a couple things. First of all, my ecover image didn't appear, so I need to make sure that I have the right URL for that. Also, I don't like the fact that this header is subheader is way too small. Some of the stuff is just too small here. So I'm going to go back in and make some tweaks. So let's go down, and I'm going to actually make the headline. Let's actually make it bold and see what that does. This needs to be much bigger than 10 pixels. Let's make it 20 and see what that does. And then even the body text I wasn't too happy with. So I'm going to go down to paragraph settings, and I'm going to make this 14. And then the last thing I need to change is the ecover. I clearly did not have a link to it. Let's see if that will do it, or if I still don't have the link correct. And and I'm fumbling around with this on purpose because I want you to get a sense of exactly how you're going to do this and how easy and fast it is when you input the stuff. All right, so you can see it's a little bit better. There's still a couple of things that I would change. I'm going to make this 36 point, and I'm going to make this 24 point. And then let's try that one more time. And when we refresh, you can see this is much better now. All right, the headline is much more grabbing. Everything's much more grabbing. You can see that I've got bullet points here. You know, I would probably change this because it's a little bit ugly looking with the formatting. But you can see all of my terms pages are along the bottom. You can see copyright and my company name. You can see the opt-in sign-up form here. You've got the header. You've got the social sharing. You got everything that you need. And I didn't need to do any coding for any of this. All right, I was able to do all of this on the fly. One other note here is if you do not get the opt-in form right, there won't be two blanks here. So you'll know that whether you've got it submitted right, your autoresponder code, because if it isn't correct, these blanks won't be there. All right, and that's all there is to it, to setting up an awesome squeeze page with SqueezePageGenie. And you can create as many of these as you want on as many domains. You can upload this to multiple sites, use it for all of those. I could create 5 different squeeze pages on this one site if I wanted, and it's all just that easy. If I want to make any changes to anything, I just pop down here and I can change any of the things on the fly, and then I just update it and I'm good to go.